Good morning. Let me get my notebook. Good morning. How you all doing? Happy Saturday. Peace and blessings. I'm the Moon Mama, and let me tell you all, I'm a little bit bewildered today, just because I can feel the new energy coming in. So there's just an intensity with this new energy, um, And the thing about Pisces is the moon is in Pisces today and Saturn is and today's a Saturn day. Let me start this way. Today is a Saturn day. Let me just say to you, thank you all for your donations and everybody who says thank you, whatever. Like, I really appreciate it. Um, and some of the reason that I really appreciate just your interaction is because we're moving through experiences that are unique and new ways of being. And it can make you feel a little crazy. It really can. Like, I talk to people all the time who are like, am I crazy? And I'm like, yeah, we are all crazy right now because the old reality is collapsing and the tendency is to cling to it. And so, you know, our protection mechanisms have us cling to old ways of being um and try to find our footing in ways and fight and resist, right? And so some of the work that I'm experiencing or the opportunity is for me to really understand how this reality works so that I am not resisting the change and the transformation that's happening. And the resistance is it for me, it shows up as fear. Like, I can feel like, oh, I'm a little bit afraid of of what's happening, or I'm a little bit cautious. And you know it's it's a hard concept to get, that fear is fear is fear is a signal that we are in the illusion. And here's why, right? Because when the mind understands that death is not real, then we release our fear and we relax. And and so you have to begin to have conversations with yourself about what your fears are about. Why am I afraid of this? What am I holding on to here? Why do I believe this? When you have your conversations, um, then you can neutralize the energies that are moving through you so that you don't have to begin to experience resistance. The resistance is what builds up tension and pressure that keeps you out of the new reality that's attempting to come through you. And so, it's like when something is new and it's unknown, you have to begin to convince yourself that you're excited. Oh, I'm excited. Like, oh, this is going to be the best thing ever. Like, oh, I've never done this before. And it's like remembering, like, when in your life did you do things that you were unfamiliar with and it turned out great? When in your life, because as we become adults, we have a tendency to make ourselves too serious, and I got to pay bills, and I have this work, and I have this responsibility, and all this sort of things. And we lose our fluidity. We lose our curiosity. We lose our capacity to go with the flow because of that adult mind that is just filled with ego. This is bad. This is good. I don't like this. This was, all that sort of stuff. So we become more prone towards, um, fear and restrictions and resistance. So the work on top of everything else we're doing to give birth to a new reality, the work is to keep yourself light, to keep yourself fluid, to keep yourself open, to keep yourself, in the flow, letting go of the resistance. And Saturn, today is a Saturn day, and Saturn is still at the seventh degree of Aquarius, where it went retrograde. And so the seventh degree is about generosity. And Aquarius is the mind of God. It's about who you're becoming. It's this new way of being. And so Saturn is the earth realm. Saturn governs cause and effect, right? So you are becoming where you have been putting your cause and effect, right? So you know personally where you've been putting your cause and effect. Like you don't need me to tell you that. You know what you've been focusing on. You know what you've been thinking about. You know what you've been using your energy towards. You know what you've been doing. So, yes, so much is new. So if you know what you've been doing, if you know where you are, then that is what is coming into the earth realm. And the seventh degree is generosity. Now, here's the thing. The English language is fucked. The English language tricks us all the time. It has this dual meaning. It says one thing and means another. So it's really important for you to begin to understand. mm, Sorry about that. Words and how the words are what they really mean inside of your own system, right? You have to really negotiate these energies with the language because the language will bring things that you don't really want. The language is a trickster language. The English language is a trickster language. So you want to begin to do the work to really feel how you experience these words in your system, right? How do you experience the words in your system? Do they feel like okay, or do they feel like you're at odds with them? Because like I said, everything is cause and effect. I mean, and this is, if you think of this like playing a video game, like this earth realm, that like somebody, I was telling someone the other day, this is the metaverse. Your body is an avatar. The language is how we move through the system, our feelings, but we want to become more feeling than we are um cerebral, because our feelings will tell us the truth about something. That is the thing that's important to understand. Your feelings will tell you where you are with something. Your feelings will give you what you need to understand about where you really are with something, right? So your language, if something feels right to you, it's like, okay, this feels right, but you have to pay attention. You have to wiggle in it. You have to get into your body. Because here's the thing, we have to begin to make peace with duality. In the Western world was created through this dualistic nature, and the feminine is not dualistic. The feminine is inclusive. The feminine does not exclude anything. So it is going to be really important for you to find neutrality, because the feminine energy is all inclusive. The feminine will take something that is dark and grim and painful and neutralize it and alchemize it into something that is beautiful and expansive and open. So that's why it's important for you to begin to be aware of the language and your own duality, your own dual nature. And, like I said, people get so upset when I talk about how, me doing the work to neutralize my relationship with this political system, because the politics is one of the ways that we practice this dualistic nature. The Republicans are bad, the Democrats are good. The Democrats are bad, the Republicans are good. And so we stay polarized. And then when we stay polarized, we don't have access to all of our power. And with Saturn and Aquarius, you're going to need all of your power. You cannot be polarized. You have to really be able to understand that nothing is good and nothing is bad, and that there's a little bit of everything in all things. And you have to be able to find a little bit of everything inside of you, right? So the way that I did this was I voted for Trump the first time. And I always lose people. So whoever's triggered and gets upset, thank you. I understand, because let me tell you, this corner of the internet is about doing the real work to heal, to really access power. And anywhere you are at odds with aspects of yourself, or aspects of, are triggered, and you're not willing to look into those triggers, that becomes a shadow. So for me, being able to face that thing of racism, white supremacy, and realize that that is what the nature of this country is built upon, and that is a part of the system that I am in. And so it's like, how can I not be at odds with it? And not, but not by not in like full, like I support it, but nothing is greater than me. That's the thing. Nothing can have power over me. So anything we reject, anything we resist, we are actually giving our energy and power to. So you've got to be able to integrate it into your mindset, into your system, so that you become greater than it, right? That if you watch The Matrix, go watch The Matrix and you'll see, with Mr. Smith and Neo, they would absorb one another. They would absorb the opposite. You have to absorb those opposites. So when you can absorb opposites, you actually become more powerful. You cannot be at odds with anything. You have to be able to say, okay, now I'm going to use this. So like there's this fable or mythology in Egyptian or Kemetic, right? Because Egypt and Kemet are not the same thing. I just want y'all to know that. It's not the same, right? The people who are the Egyptians now were not the Kemetic people. They're not the same. So, but this Kemetic, which is now Egypt, fable goes that, this person was standing on the edge of the Nile and they needed to get to the other side. But the Nile was filled with crocodiles. So how did they get to the other side? And they had to. How they did it was they became a crocodile. You have to become the thing that you are at odds with in order to absorb it. So that, but you have to, in the process, stay true to yourself. So it's a tricky thing. That's right. So it's like really understanding that the universe is all things. There is all things, and then there's nothing, right? So you have to be able to hold that. It's the yin yang sign. It's the yin yang sign, and one side of it is white, the other side of it is black, but within the white side there's a black dot, and within the black side there's a white dot. You have to mature yourself, and emotionally, mentally, spiritually, to be able to absorb all things in your consciousness, to realize that there is no separation. The only way you're going to transmute this energy is through the unified field. And the unified field says that duality does not exist. But in the earth realm, duality does exist. So you have to do the work inside of yourself to be able to make peace. I did it through the political process. I did it through really recognizing that Trump was just a made up illusion. And I was so triggered by the story of racism, and because it was a part of my own identity, my own nature. So I had to face the beast. Think of like Daniel and the Daniel and the lions. Then you have to face the lion. You have to defeat the beast within you. The thing that keeps you divided, the thing that keeps you out of your power, you have to overcome that. So like I said, for everybody who's gonna leave, oh, I can't believe she voted for Trump. I get it. 'Cause that means that you're not really ready to face the beast within yourself. You're still at odds with aspects within yourself. If and the work is to go into the triggers. Don't run from the triggers, go into the triggers. We're here to transmute the old reality. So one of the things that I do, I love COVID. Thank you, COVID, because it's like, what are the blessings of COVID? Well, COVID is forcing me to have to really take care of my health. So I give thanks for it. Thank you. What are the blessings of racism? What are the blessings of white supremacy? Embody it. What is it that this system has forced me to discover about myself? How do these polarities work out inside of you? I just send light to everything. I'm like, okay, this vaccination, every vial of it is filled with love and light. There is nothing that can come against me or any human on this planet Earth. It is all made of love. It is all God. There is only God, Goddess. There is nothing at odds that can overcome me, that can conquer me, that can harm me. All things work together for good. Everything serves my greatest yet to be, because I am what why do I do that? To collapse the duality within me, to neutralize the part of myself that would say that something out there is going to get me, that something is wrong. So when I hold my consciousness, when I marry the external with the internal, when I marry the light with the dark, when I bring those things together, then you have more power to actually create the reality that is really your deepest desire. You got to neutralize the boogeyman now. You got to neutralize the boogeyman. You cannot have a boogeyman. And that's the thing about Saturn. Saturn in Aquarius says, okay, what is your cause and effect? And the seventh degree is generosity, right? And generosity just means a lot. It's generous. It's like yes to everything, right? Yes to your fears. Yes to your yes to everything. Generosity is, you have to understand, like, these terminologies are not necessarily, there is no good and bad, is what I'm trying to say. There is no good and bad, right? It's just what it is. So if you're in fear, you have generosity with fear. If you're in joy, you have generosity with joy. If you're in peace, you have generosity with peace. Generosity, right? So with Aquarius, you are becoming a new aspect of yourself, your innovative self, who you truly are, your God mind, your God identity. Saturn coming to the earth realm, your cause and effect, what you've been focusing on. Where you put your attention is where it goes. What you put out is coming back. And it's coming back in this new and innovative way. And so with the sun and Scorpio, we're working with our desire, our power, our passion. We're transmuting the energy, right? And it is uncomfortable. This energy is intense. This is not for the faint of heart. So it is important for you to do breath work. It is important for you to, really pay attention, question yourself. Like I said, I have been eating. Yesterday I ate a container of peach cobbler. It was so good, but I don't generally eat sugar. And so I'm just watching the energy in me is like pulling me. It's so intense. I'm needing to, I'm sort of acting out with sugar, is what I'm noticing. And so, literally, because what we're working with is new energy, there's a lot of new energy coming in. And so, the tendency is to take it and do old things with it, right? So, here I am, I'm eating sugar, but I'm not judging myself because I know that it's like, okay, this new energy and it's hard for me to hold it. So, the tendency is now to act out in some way. So I'm watching that. I'm just watching it. Okay, I love myself. I love myself. I tap. I love myself. It's okay. I eat the peach cobbler. It's all good. And then I ask, what else is possible? Because Aquarius is about newness. What else is possible? What else is possible here? And then I write down the new ideas that come and I start, right? So, I'm going to be doing the Venus and Capricorn class. And so you can go register for that on my link tree. We're going to do 3 aspects of Venus and Capricorn because we're going to have 3 legs of this retrograde. And what we're doing in this retrograde is taking our emotional power back, because Capricorn is about power. It's about discipline. It's about external structures. Our external structures are coming down. And so we have to take our power back. We have to become true to our own emotional well-being, our own emotional strength. So if you want to register for this class, you can do so in I think it's on my calendar, my link tree. The first leg of the class starts on the 25th. And we are going to be working with this energy of taking our emotional power back. And we're also moving now into a full moon in Taurus, and it's going to be an eclipse. So if you want to learn how to use this energy, you can book a new moon, full moon reading with me. And this is a really significant energy because Taurus governs the earth realm. Um, it governs your senses. It governs your feelings, your value, your money, all of that. So all of these things are new. So you want to be doing rituals to move yourself into this new frequency so that you're not at odds with the new things that are coming. And um, yeah, and that's kind of it. So I love you all very much. And the Pisces moon today, Pisces is this collective energy, right? Pisces is the collective consciousness. Pisces is the subconscious. Pisces is empathy. Pisces is how we are together, right? This it's really understanding that there is oneness in all of this. And that's the core of the work right now, because otherwise we can be at odds with ourselves and we can live in duality, which is what I was talking about earlier. And you don't want to be in duality right now. You actually want to be able to neutralize as much as these dualistic ideas, right and wrong, good and bad, rich and poor, all like neutralize that. And if you need support with how to neutralize that, if you find these triggers inside of yourself, like I said, for me, one of my biggest triggers was Trump and racism. That like I still find that I am triggered with it, but I literally am like, okay, I can recognize and love the part of me that is triggered. That's the way to be with it. Just love the part of you that is triggered so that you can get closer to the hot area. The world has changed literally. Yes, it has. The world has really changed. Absolutely. So that is it. So be present to your triggers and love the part of you that is triggered. And so when people show up in your life and they trigger you, literally, it's like asking yourself, what would love look like here now? What would peace feel like here now? Right? That's the thing to do. Like literally, I got an email this morning that said a um, a pharmaceutical company was sponsoring an event at my child's school. A pharmaceutical company is sponsoring an event at my child's school. And I was like, okay, here it is. Here it is. And I just breathed it in and said, I know that God is here, that this is not separate from the divinity of all things. It cannot be. It's not possible for anything to be separate from the power of God. And how do I know that? Because quantum physics says it is so because we see it. It is so because we have observed it as so. So you have to name it what you want it to be, desire it to be, and it will transmute into that. That is why it is important to go understand, go watch The Matrix. And how did Neo, and he absorbed, right? That crocodile absorbs the energy and then swims across the Nile and then gets out on the other end and becomes its natural self again. It has to absorb these energies. So you have to become greater than them. You have to be so committed to the truth of who you are, to the divinity within you, that nothing is greater than the power of light within you, that you absorb the darkness. Do you get it? Do you get it? This is high level work, y'all. This is high level work. Um, let's say that's funny. That's funny. My cousin says they come bringing food, nursing. Yes, that's right. So it is important for us to begin to see in our imagination the world that we desire it, and know that nothing is outside of the realm of the consciousness of God. Nothing. It is all connected to source. And all we need is for one person to hold the consciousness of truth. One person to hold the consciousness of truth. Yes, I will put up a link for the full moon meditation. I will do that. I haven't done it yet, but I'll put it up late by the end of the day. Um, So, yes, the divine is all there is. And if you have the consciousness that is willing to know that the divine is all that there is, then you are a part of the creator of the new reality, because nothing, right? I'm telling you, this is a fantastic time to be alive. And the more that you can neutralize those opposites inside of you, the more that you have the power of dark and light. And that is when the Bible said, don't eat from the fruit of knowledge. That is it, that you need light and dark in order to create the reality. You need the polarities to be neutralized inside of you. And that's the fruit of knowledge. That the devil and God are the same thing. The light and the dark are the same. The yin yang. It's not even hard, y'all. It's nothing. It's nothing. So don't be at odds with anything. And then ask, what's the highest and best that can be made available? Don't be at odds with nothing. And then go, what is the highest and best? And like for me, the challenging thing for me is racism. I have to go, how do I see God in this racist system? How can I believe that God is here? The goddess is here, that there is something that this was necessary for, that there was something that this was serving, because the creator uses all things, nothing is thrown away. Everything serves to further, right? So you got to get really big in your consciousness, in your heart, and your capacity to love. And this is work. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity. Hi there. Okay, so that is that. So I will do a link for the full moon, so we can do a full moon meditation. It's going to be, I don't know the details yet, but I'll put it in. But I'm just excited for those of us who are willing to have the courage to stand in this way, and who have the power within us to neutralize opposites so that we can give birth to a new reality, because that's what has to happen. And you have to look inside of yourself. You have to look at your own shadow. You have to be willing to face your fears. Face your own nature, your lower nature. You have to face your lower nature, because you have to, the lower nature and then the higher nature have to come together. So you do that in your own body, then you do that externally, you do that with the masculine and feminine. You're literally bringing opposites together, and when you bring opposites together, it gives you power. And that is all it is. It's so simple. It's not even it's nothing. It's nothing. It's easy. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. Okay, y'all. Yes, the devil is God in a mask. Yes. Oh my God, that is so good. That is right. The devil is God in a mask. Come on now. That's right. Yes, the dark crystal. Absolutely, the dark crystal. You have to absorb it. You guys, go watch the dark crystal. Go watch the dark crystal and realize how you have to absorb that power. But you have to stay true to yourself. You have to stay true to yourself. You have to stay true to your. There is no loss though, but you have to know who you are so that you can absorb the dark power and then neutralize it and bring it into the light. Ah, okay, y'all. I love y'all. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right. Peace and blessings. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye. Bye bye. I'll see you tomorrow.